Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hari Hari Bo. That microphone solved all your problems. No,
Yeah,
no
thank you,
more,
Prabhuji.
no more fading in and out. No more breaking up. Today we're going to get a report by Onkar Prabhu on the disappearance of Sanatan Goswami. And unfortunately, there's another disappearance which has occurred since we last met, which is the departure of His Divine Grace Bhakti Swami. And so um, perhaps after Onkar finishes on Sanatan Goswami, uh, we can I have something from ISKCON World Review written by Madhava Smalin, and Amrita Sundari has a tribute by Indradumna Swami, and anybody else is invited to access anything that they would like to share. Um, I personally didn't have much association with Maharaj. He always impressed me as a consummate gentleman, sweetness personified, always a spirit of cooperation. Um, I can only just say some general things, but even though I didn't have much direct association with him, I'm definitely feeling a big hole today, like most members of our society. So, two disappearances, bittersweet, bitter because we're bereft of Bhakti True Swami, sweet because Vaishnavas don't die, they just transition to a higher realm of glory. So, Onkar, do you want to take the floor?
Hare Krishna Vrinda Pranam. Can you please allow the participant screen sharing?
The screen sharing?
Yes.
Okay, can you see that?
Uh, uh, there is a bottom button, maybe security or share.
It says there's one button that says share screen. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, multiple participants can share
Yeah.
simultaneously.
Yeah. Now I can share.
You can see it? Okay.
Yeah. Can you see my screen?
I can, yes.
Yeah.
Can everybody else see?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can see.
Hare Krishna, all the devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. So today I will give a short presentation on Sanatan Goswami ji. So before starting my presentation, I would like to offer my respected obeisances to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Swami Srila Prabhupada, who is our founder Acharya, and I would like to offer my obeisances to all the senior Vaishnavas present so that they can bless me, so I can speak some few words in the glorification of our Sanatan Goswami. So Sanatan Goswami was born in the year 1488. He was a pure devotee of Krishna. He had two brothers, Rupa Goswami and Anupam, and he was very excellent in the studies of the scriptures. And the ruler there, Nawab Hussain Shah, who was a Muslim ruler, was very impressed with his excellency. So he hired Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami in his Muslim government and gave them a Muslim name. So that was a big thing that time, to hire Hindu people and give them Muslim names. So he was very much impressed by their excellency, and he gave them big positions and very much salary, like very huge salary for their contributions. So, Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami was had their headquarters in Ramakeli. So, once Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Ramakeli while he was traveling to Vrindavan. That time, Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami met with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and they were impressed with him. So, immediately they wanted to leave everything and join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told them that you resign from your positions, and while that time, leave everything and become sannyasis. So Rupa Goswami and his brother Anupam could leave everything, but Sanatan Goswami, when he resigned, the Nawab was very angry with Sanatan Goswami, and then he imprisoned him in the jail. So, with the help of Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami gave a lot of money to the jail officer and he escaped from the prison and he left for Vrindavan. But that time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Banaras, so he met with him in Banaras, and there is a big discussion happened with both of them called Sanatan Shiksha. So after that, Mahaprabhu told him to go to Vrindavan and try to contribute in the writing books and preaching mission there. So when Sanatan Goswami went to Vrindavan, there was a very famous deity of Krishna called Madan Mohan, which was established by grandson of Krishna himself, Vajranab. So much before that, when Advaita Acharya had gone to Vrindavan, he had found that deity and he had given that deity to a Brahmana to handle it. So, but when Madan Mohan came in the when Sanatan Goswami went to Vrindavan, Madan Mohan deity came in the dream of Sanatan Goswami to instructing him to please take care of him. So when Sanatan Goswami started living in Vrindavan, he also took care of this deity of Madan Mohan. Sanatan Goswami, as we know, he was a sannyasi. So he used to ask for flour from the village, and then he used to cook chapatis from the flour and offer it to Krishna. And then he used to accept it as prasad. One day, the deity of Madan Mohan told Sanatan Goswami that you are offering me chapatis, but there is no salt in it. Please give me some salt. So Sanatan Goswami became a little angry. He told Krishna that today you are asking for salt, tomorrow you will ask for sweet, and next day you will ask for big temple. I am a poor sannyasi. How can I give everything? If you want anything, you please arrange it for yourself. So after saying that, the deity of Krishna kept quiet and said nothing after that. After few days after that incident, there was a salt merchant whose name was Krishnadas Kapoor. He was going to a city to sell his products. So while he was traveling to Vrindavan in the river Yamuna in a boat, his boat got stuck in the sand there, and it couldn't move. And it was a time of dark night, so he became very afraid in the fear of wild animals and the robbers. So the Sanatan Goswami's Bhajan Kutir was very near to that place. So he came to meet Sanatan Goswami and he asked him to help him. So Satan Goswami told him to pray to the deity of Madan Mohan, he will surely help you. So he prayed to the deity of Madan Mohan, and by the mercy of Madan Mohan, his ship was rescued and he could go to the city. So he went to the city and he made huge profits from that deal. So as a act of gratitude, he offered most of his profits as as a gift to the deity of Madan Mohan. So Sanatan Goswami became very happy and he built a huge temple from that contribution. So in this way, the deity of Madan Mohan got his salt, got his sweets, and got his big temple also. So when after Sanatan Goswami became little old, Sanatan Goswami used to perform Govardhan Parikrama every day. But when he became old, he became little weak. So Krishna wanted to stop him. So the deity of Madan Mohan gave him the a Govardhan Shila and told him, "O Sanatan Goswami, you have become very weak. So now do not travel to the for Govardhan Parikrama. You just offer your parikrama to this small Shila, and when you offer your parikrama, you will get the same benefit as offering parikrama to the whole Govardhan." So this famous Govardhan Shila is still present in Vrindavan and it is available for darshan for everyone. So this in this picture we see this is the famous temple of Madan Mohan. So this temple was built by the contribution of Krishnadas Kapoor, and it was the original deity of Madan Mohan was in this temple for quite a long time. But for the from to protect it from the Muslim emperor's attack, it was transferred to the southeast of Jaipur. So now it is there. So in there is a so the replica of the original deity was made and it is currently being worshipped in this temple. So Sanatan Goswami gave us very much a lot of books like Brihad Bhagavatamrita and many other books. And he preached a lot in Vrindavan, and he was a friend of everyone. Like everyone, he was a loving caretaker of everyone. So that's why people of all the classes used to love him. Uh, so after a long time in Vrindavan, Sanatan Goswami left this world on the full moon day of Ashad month. So that was yesterday. So that was the disappearance day anniversary of Sanatan Goswami. His samadhi is placed near the Madan Mohan temple in Vrindavan, like we see in this picture, and it is very just near to Madan Mohan temple. If we go to the temple, then we can see this samadhi also and take darshan. So in this way, it was a glorious life of Sanatan Goswami. It not possible to glorify him in a short time. There can be written books on books on his work and his mercy on all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So on this occasion, auspicious occasion of his disappearance, we pray to him that he blesses in our journey of Krishna consciousness. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
You're muted, Prabhu. You're muted.
Thank you very much, Onkar. That was wonderful and very illustrative also. I'll have to get you to show me how to share things on the screen. Anybody else want to comment? I know that on the day of Sanatan Goswami's disappearance, thousands and thousands of people, I think it's the largest day, am I not, for the number of people to do the Govardhan Parikram.
There's a wonderful overview, Prabhu. There's another, not another, but one more pastime. It was both brothers were in Ter Kadam, used to live there, and then one time Sanatan Goswami went to nearby village. And then in his absence, his younger brother Rup Goswami, he felt like having cooking kheer for his brother Sanatan Goswami, but he didn't have anything, no milk, no rice, nothing. And then a small girl came actually with everything, all ingredients. And Rup Goswami said, I don't know how to cook kheer. So little girl said, okay, I will cook, don't worry. So she cooked kheer, and then Rup Goswami offered it to Sanatan Goswami after offering to DT, of course. And then Sanatan Goswami felt very nice. Okay, I haven't eaten such kheer in my life. What exactly, did you cook? And then Rupa Goswami told him the whole story. And then Sanatan Goswami felt bad then he said, okay, he realized that it was Radharani who came all the way, to cook kheer and with ingredients. And Sanatan Goswami also felt and kind of little bit told to Rupa Goswami that you shouldn't take service from Radharani. You took service from Radharani. Of course, the intentions were not to take service from himself, just wanted to serve his brother, So this is a wonderful pastime actually. So even if now you go to Ter Kadam, they give you a little bit kheer still also, tradition there. Yeah.
Wasn't it a story also of Sanatan Goswami that he'd given up everything in order to join Lord Chaitanya, but traveling through the jungles and all, he kept one coat for warmth. It was an expensive coat. So Lord Chaitanya greeted him, but he felt that there was a little something missing in the way that Lord Chaitanya greeted him. It was very enthusiastic, but he still felt that there was something that Lord Chaitanya was holding back. And then he looked at the coat. So he thought, this must be it. I've given up everything, but I have this one attachment. And so he went to a beggar and he said, would you like to swap? He gave his expensive coat to the beggar and he took the beggar's coat. Then when he reappeared before Lord Chaitanya, then there was no reservation. He felt that Lord Chaitanya fully accepted him. Is that right? My retelling of it?
Yes.
Haribol Omkar Prabhu, very, very nice presentation, very well summarized and well presented. Haribol.
Please share with us about how we can all do screen sharing with slides and projectiles and things like that. I'm going to try it later on with Yeo Nilo Premadhana. See if I can get it to work.
It's very easy. Like you can, it works out very well while giving online classes. Like I see many ISKCON temples are using it while the public public class, and it became very while singing songs, and so I could use it for some time.
Yeah, it was great. I want to be able to split the screen evenly, exactly half and half. Right now it's a big thing, and then the speaker's only in a corner. But I like it like some of the speakers do. It's exactly half and half. If we get that configuration, that would be
Yeah, I could try to see if we could do that. I'm sure we could do that in some way. Yeah.
Let's figure that out then. Fantastic. Wonderful job. Onkar.
Wonderful summarization, Onkar Prabhu. Thank you so much. It looks very nice, and I could go back to some of the lectures that I've heard in the past. So thank you for refreshing our memory. Haribol.
Hare Krishna, Bhavi. Thank you so much. Great job. Haribol.
Hare Krishna, our beautiful presentation. Very smooth, very beautiful delivery. Very instructive. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, that was short, clear. I was translating that Prabhu talked about Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami first times. So I was translating it's the last chapter of Science of Self-Realization. And that Prabhupada was telling that they had that mood, not accepting anything from Krishna or Radharani. Therefore, Sanatan Goswami chastised Rupa Goswami that he should not be accepting any service from Radharani. Of course, that was the transcendental pastimes. So thank you for Onkar Prabhu and Ramesh Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Also, does anybody know a story that Sanatan was thinking he was feeling himself so low that he was going to jump off of Govardhan Hill and commit suicide? And Lord Chaitanya said, if you want to sacrifice your life, there's a much better way to do it, and that is to dedicate it in service to preaching the message of Krishna consciousness. Anybody have any more details on that pastime?
I guess I heard in the way that Lord Chaitanya told him what kind of person destroyed others' properties.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Now I remember.
Yeah. Yes, that's exactly it.
And their planning was also perfect. If you look the whole episode, how Rup Goswami went to Vrindavan, and then Sanatan Goswami was arrested, but he has a bunch of gold coins, and then he gave bribery to people there and escaped from the jail, then distributed half of that into other people, half into devotees, and half, 1/4 he kept for himself for incidental needs, right?
Yeah, I think the servant's name was Ishan, and he had 8 gold coins, and 7 was given to the landlord, and 1 he kept. So Ishan was chastised by Satan. He said, when we are going to meet the Lord of the universe, why do you have to take 8 gold coins?
Also, I think the landlord, he had some astrologer.
Yeah.
The astrologer said there's still 1 coin with them. So I think the landlord was going to hire some thugs to kill them for that 1 coin. And then Sanatan forced him to give that extra coin over. So it saved their lives too, I believe.
My Guru Maharaj, I used to always wonder, what can we learn from this incident? And then my Guru Maharaj was traveling through Siberia in a train. And then he noticed a lady, the train employee, who's supposed to come and clean. And she was looking around very curiously at Maharaj's luggage and everything. And then Maharaj remembered this pastime, and he realized that she was part of a gang who would come and steal in the night. And so Maharaj, he himself took out a good quantity of, a lot of money and gave it to her. And then she understood that Maharaj was very smart, and she winked and she said, "You saved yourself a lot of trouble."
Also in a class, I heard the reflection of this deeper story is that what we need to reflect on ourselves and see what gold coins am I holding in my heart from progressing in further Krishna consciousness. What gold coins am I keeping away from my Gurudev and saying I'm not able to progress further, so what am I holding on to? And those, all my impediments and the words we were going to read today has all those impediments are my gold coins that I'm being miser about, because
That's
I don't.
a good point. They say it's not just what you give, but it's what you have held back as well.
Yeah.
I mean, initially when we come to Krishna consciousness, we can give a lot because of our enthusiasm, because it gives us new life. We're getting over our bad habits. We're feeling good about ourselves. So initially we make a lot of progress. Just like running, and I used to run and train for marathons and all. They say that with just a few hours a week, you get 90% of the benefits of running, cardio and everything. If you just run 20, 30 miles a week, you get 80, 90% of all the benefits that are be gained. But if you're training for a little bit of competition and for long distance, then you're going to do, instead of doing 20, 30 miles a week, you're going to do double that. You're going to do 60, 70 miles a week. But that extra training, it only gives you like 5 or 10% extra. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
With the initial training, you get 80 to 90%. The extra training only gives you 5 or 10%. So similarly, when we come to Krishna consciousness, we give up a lot of bad habits. We do a lot of service and everything. But at some point, after we've been around for so long and gotten comfortable with it and everything, we need to ask ourselves, not just what we're giving, but what are we holding back? And that's when, what you call the nitty gritty. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's where, that's harder. You have to dredge down. You have to actually break up some of those attachments which have been encrusted since time immemorial. But when you do that kind of work, that pick and shovel work, that's when Krishna really, he wants to step up and embrace you for doing that.
And I think the most important thing about Sanatan Goswami's life is that he's our Sambandha Acharya. So when the deity he worships is Radha Madan Mohanji, and so that Sambandha, unless we create that relationship with the Lord, we won't be able to progress further. So his teachings on we have no time to read Hari Bhakti Vilas. It's so elaborate, but we are so grateful to all the devotees who have given lectures on him to reflect on that.
Wow, Onkar, look what you've unleashed here. Oceans of nectar. Any other things to share on Sanatan Goswami? Otherwise, we can move to Bhakti Truth Maharaj.
I think Sanatan Goswami was very, very considerate and very, very sympathetic towards the residents of Vrindavan. He, like an elderly father, used to visit them and inquire about their welfare. And you see everybody who's talking about Bhakti Charu Maharaj is very, very attracted by his personality, his demeanor. And we had once in Mayapur, we had heard that Maharaj was in one of the buildings. And so we waited outside to have his darshan. And this was just after we had got initiated, just a couple of months after that. And so we went to take blessings of Maharaj. And I remember he was sitting on the white, like how in India you put like the white mattress and then white sheets. And Maharaj was sitting there. And then we had darshan and we told him, and he said, okay, how can I help you? And we were like, we just got initiated recently and we just came to get your blessings. And he was, you could see his power, but it was so much covered by his sweetness. And he asked us about, where we lived and, who our Guru Maharaj was and stuff like that. And, Sanatan Goswami used to visit every household and he knew the history of every household, He was very concerned about their daily life also. And we talk about Vaishnava care a lot nowadays. And many devotees leave the moment because they feel neglected. They feel that when they needed somebody, nobody was there, So I mean, my takeaway today is, when we have devotees around them, we should take care of them. And that is also a great service. And that's the service Krishna wants us to do. We should not neglect people's physical, mental, and emotional needs also. We have to be considerate, and by helping them deal with these things, we're helping them focus more on their devotional life. You know, we should take out the time to help each other out. It's not an easy life nowadays. You know, everybody has anxiety problems. You know, world can be challenging, and every devotee has tough times somewhere or the later. And we should all help each other out, you know, during those times.
And that comes after, you know, developing intimacy. You know, among devotees we have to develop intimacy. I mean, if you look at Srila Prabhupada's disciples and godfathers, right, we see many pictures. I mean, they don't see each other for years, you know, because of, you know, living and working, and they're all busy in preaching. But when they meet, you can see the intimacy. You can see that it's just flowing through. You know, I'm seeing Maharajas meeting together, and, you know, then when they meet, it's just exemplary actually. And in any community, devotee community, that's what we have to develop. It cannot be me, myself. You know, I am progressing, I am fine. We have to develop that intimacy which Srila Prabhupada has established. You know, I mean, we all are like a family, and that's what Srila Prabhupada wanted.
George, I think you had that experience also with Sham Bihari taking you under his wing in India, isn't it?
Well, yes, very much so. Well, not just Bihari, but certainly when we went to India, he treated me like a revered, respected guest everywhere I went. It was like he was putting his coat down so I wouldn't have to walk in a puddle. I mean, almost literally. It is really the love of the Vaishnavas that is the strongest attraction, because that is what people need. That's what people are through. And yes, so I have taken that as a great example for me personally, and will stumble along trying to be that person for someone else, hopefully many others.
And I also feel my own personal observation is that, I don't know if she wants to say anything, but Sundari Priya, of course, it goes without saying that Amrita Sundari and Ras Vilas are very, very considerate and concerned about the devotees. There's so many instances when they've gone out of their way to host devotees or pick them up at the airport or cook for them. And I've been the beneficiary of their hospitality on more than one occasion, and it is so wonderfully Vaishnavic, if there is such a word. But Sundari Priya seems to stand out too also, especially for first-time comers and devotees. Sundari Priya seems to have that. Did I do something wrong? Oh, okay. Sundari Priya just seems to really, really go the extra mile for just anybody and everybody. So I just wanted to say that because I think it needs to be said. I don't know if you want to add anything, your own insights or realizations, Sundari Priya, but honestly, I feel like, you, as much as anybody, you personify this quality of loving concern for the devotees.
Prabhuji, I can add a little bit. I know Mataji will speak, but I have seen Mataji from days, 2006 when we moved. That time, remember Mataji Asutosh Tiwari, we
when
met.
Mataji was pregnant with Krishna, with Divyam that time.
So I have seen Mataji's trajectory. I am not a qualified devotee to comment, but I have seen like, straight line and boom, exponential, And sometime I feel that, I'm so much left behind actually in devotional progress. The amount of devotional progress Mataji has made is tremendous. And as we all know, that it doesn't come just by reading books, there are so many facets to devotional progress. And one of the important facets is serving deities, serving devotees, and, caring about people. And then those are immensely embedded in Mataji's personality. It doesn't come, she doesn't have to do, it's already embedded. It's there natural in her personality to do all that.
I'm sorry, but I don't deserve all this glorification. It was all about Sanatan Goswami and His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. But I'm grateful to have all your association. I hope to do better, because there's so much sky's the limit, like Charu Prabhu always inspires us. But I mean, I came here just distressed, and Charu Prabhu's words lifted me and every day. I put myself and I said I was not a devotee material at all. I came here just to hear Charu Prabhu, and he inspired me, and I was his bamboo shoot. I didn't act on it, and I was very reluctant. I would never gonna take a chanting bag in my hand. I thought this was only for people who live in the temple or their devotees. My life does not allow me to be different, and I don't know, but because I love the way Vaibhavi Mataji was working initially in the temple gift store, and Mataji was arranging everything, every time I saw them, I said, what is wrong with me? I have the energy to work at least a little bit like what they, but even today I can work the way Mataji and Prabhuji work, and consistently giving to us, because they give to us. And because I just walked into the door one day in the temple, that I want to do the same for the people who are. I remember Kapil Prabhu and Mataji when they were my clients and they moved to Utah. I said, first thing you got to do is, I know your grandfather passed away, but you really need to first go and visit the temple, and that's where. And I have another visitor coming from Surat, and he's a life member of ISKCON, and he and his wife are looking forward to be a congregation member. And I wish I can do more. I sometimes am slacking and lazy and not doing enough, but with all your inspiration, I hope to do better.
If you are lazy, Mataji, you haven't seen me.
You don't know, I have my own gold coins that I'm holding back.
I glorified you, so now I deserve better real estate commission from you. Okay?
I wish I could make kachoris and rabadis like you did, so. But I'm lazy to serve Jagannath kachoris.
Also, I mean, we want to get we're on this path because of Bhakti True Swami, and I if anybody has any personal interaction with him, I'd invite them to share it. But I just one more chapter, and I think also everybody will agree. When I don't know, whenever I go to the temple, somebody who is always bows down. I mean, I don't ask it, I don't even expect it, I don't even want it. Bows down, offers pranams, asks if there's anything at all that I need, brings me prasadam, brings me to prasadam. Someone who has, his own plate full, a PhD candidate with lots and lots of things to do in his academic career. He takes lots and lots of service. So I just couldn't conclude this discussion about the Salt Lake City devotees and move on without just wanting to also give kudos to Onkar. I mean, what a sweet, just what sweetness, our own sort of Abesha of Sanatan Goswami, Bhakti True Swami is Onkar Prabhu. So we really can't move on until I say a word or two about Onkar. And I know he doesn't want to blow his own horn or anything, but what a jewel, so many jewels in our community.
He's true jewel, Prabhu. I mean, I've seen him. I mean, before even he came to US, we had Skype call in March. Before he came in August last year, we talked over phone and Skype, and wonderful. Then he came in fall, and I've been seeing him. And I follow, actually, personally, I'm not flattering. I try to follow some of the examples he has set. And the greatest example is of humbleness, the true humbleness, and the tendency to serve others, which we can claim, but at least I don't possess that, try. But he has that true humbleness, and then advance. I mean, I know he has a lot of knowledge, and he has read Bhagavatam and other stuff. So I think we are lucky to have him among us.
Basically, our discussion is about not holding back, and we know that people like people that we've been talking about, Onkar, Sundari, Priya, Govinda Dev, Sham Bihari, Ras Vilas. I mean, we know that you have full lives. Some of you have families, you have multiple children, you have jobs that you do very well in, and you have devotional. And yet, the person who's not holding back is the person that comes up to a new person, someone they don't know or they don't know very much, and they basically say, in such a way that they're believable, they mean it, they actually mean it, what can I do for you? In other words, what can I do to make your transition to Krishna consciousness? And you don't get the impression that they're irritated, they're upset, that they're interrupted. They do have full plates, they do have full lives, but at the same time, they're willing to focus on you and ask you, what can I do to help you become more Krishna conscious? And that's what we're talking about by not holding anything back.
Yes, sir. And we don't want to miss the opportunity to glorify Vaibhavi Mataji. I mean, her love for the animals and the kids from the shelter. I mean, I don't visit Spanish Fork much often, but I know she has given shelter to so many souls. So we are very grateful.
I will go along with that. She gave shelter to me.
Mataji, your example is what keeps us going. I wouldn't be here if I had not seen you work hard. You had broken bones and you would walk from the lodge to the temple, and you have given your heart and soul to so many people. I mean, they still remember you. And when I go to anywhere in India, and they say, oh, you are from Spanish Fork. I love Vaibhavi. I love Vaibhavi. I mean, people know you from Australian congregation just because you gave a magazine to
You're breaking.
She's an exalted devotee today. And they remember you so well, everybody's heart. You have already done so much. And yesterday I was reading His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj's Vyas Puja letter, and the last line he says that Srila Prabhupada, I've done everything you've asked me to do. Please allow me to come back and serve you in the spiritual world if that's what you desire. And I look at Prabhuji and Mataji. If today, I don't wish that on you, but believe me, you have done more than Srila Prabhupada would ever desire from both of you. I think you are one of those gems that have not been put on the poster and said, glorification. But, if somebody were to come and interview me, I would not stop talking for 3 days about both of you. So thank you.
And who says only Krishna can expand himself? Mataji can expand himself. And I have several examples.
Mataji expands.
Right?
It's like I remember reading in Bhagavatam, said to calm disturbing elements and to
He just went.
create law and order. All Mars Prithu had to do was twang his bow, and then everybody would get back in order. So all you have to do is just hint that Vaibhav is coming up to Salt Lake City, and then everybody gets on their very best behavior.
No, I mean, even the Prajas, okay, there are like 10,000 people outside in Festival of Color. I mean, like 30,000 at one point, 2012 in Spanish Fork. And then, okay, where's Vaibhavi Mataji? Oh, she's gone there near the podium. So, okay, can we move this table? Because we need it for the prasadam outside. Let's move. And the moment we picked it, here you go. What are you doing? And we are thinking, where are you coming from, Mataji? Somebody just told us you went to the podium. So she's everywhere.
So let me read this statement about Bhakti True Swami from the GBC Executive Committee. It's very short. And Amrita Sundari also has Indra Raj's tribute. But anybody who wants to add anything from a personal point of view certainly is welcome. Okay. So there are no words to provide solace when facing separation from such a glorious Vaishnava, but we can take some comfort in the fact that His Holiness Bhakti True Maharaj lived constantly in meditation on how to serve Srila Prabhupada and his mission. Undoubtedly, he now continues that service under the direction of his divine grace. So this is from Anuttama Das, who worked with Maharaj on the executive committee. Bhakti Swami was one of the most dear disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Although he came to ISKCON in the later years of Prabhupada's physical presence, he became connected personally with Srila Prabhupada very quickly, and he had much of Prabhupada's association during Prabhupada's last months. He has always been one of the most beloved members and leaders of our movement. He was dearly loved, and he'll be greatly missed. Bhakti Swami had recently flown from his home base in Ujjain, India, to Florida, USA. He became ill soon after, tested positive for COVID, and was taken to a hospital in the US, where he was placed on a ventilator on June 17th. He remained under careful monitoring since, while devotees around the world prayed intensely and heard Kirtan for his benefit. Anyway, yesterday he departed. Although no devotees could be physically with him due to COVID-19 pandemic restrictions, he was surrounded by auspicious items. When entering the hospital, Maharaj took 3 volumes of Srimad Bhagavatam, which remained with him along with the Bhagavad Gita. He also kept his neck beads and Brahman thread, along with Vrindavan dust, tulsi leaves, and Ganges water. Srila Prabhupada's japa and kirtan played constantly, broadcast from ISKCON Ujjain, the temple project Maharaj lovingly established for Srila Prabhupada's pleasure, while devotees worldwide performed kirtan, Mahayagna, for him. Ramai Swami, Bhakti Swami, Chaitanya Swami, and Bhanu Swami concluded their EC statement with these words: "Let us offer true homage to Maharaj by continuing his legacy of service in our own lives. Let us commit ourselves, mind, body, and soul to the service of Srila Prabhupada, following the footsteps of his beloved servant, His Holiness Bhakti Swami." One of Maharaj's most cherished instructions from His Divine Grace was, quote, "Your love for me will be shown by how you cooperate together after I'm gone." Now in Maharaj's absence, we are reminded to take that instruction to heart and reaffirm our dedication to ISKCON and to each other. We commit ourselves as Maharaj's servants to assist and care for his loving disciples in his absence. It was very important to Maharaj that we operate as one family in Srila Prabhupada's service, and we remind you today that although Maharaj is no longer physically present, you are protected by the shelter of many devotees who are ready to offer you the support you may require at this difficult time and in the future. And then just as a brief look at Maharaj's devotional biography. He was born in 1945. He spent most of his early life in Calcutta. In 1970, he left India to study chemistry in Germany, came across the Vedic literatures in Germany, discovered Krishna consciousness in 1975 when he returned to India to wholeheartedly pursue spiritual life. After thoroughly studying the Vedic scriptures, Maharaj became aware of the need to find a spiritual master. After traveling to the Himalayas and searching for 1 year without coming across a spiritual master to whom he could fully surrender, he felt despondent and disappointed. When he had almost given up hope, he came across a book called The Nectar Devotion by Srila Prabhupada. He realized he had found his spiritual master. And as he continued to read Srila Prabhupada's books, his conviction became stronger as his desire to meet Prabhupada. In 1976, he joined the ISKCON temple in Mayapur and became more involved, and while awaiting for Srila Prabhupada's return to India. When Srila Prabhupada returned, the first direct meeting between Guru and aspiring disciple took place in January 1977. During that meeting, Srila Prabhupada gave Bhakti Swami the assignment of translating his books into Bengali and then made him a secretary for Indian affairs. Srila Prabhupada gave Maharaj first and second initiation simultaneously in Mayapur on Gaur Purnima in 1977. 3 months later, Srila Prabhupada awarded him the renounced order of sannyas. All this demonstrates a remarkable investment of authority and blessings from Srila Prabhupada to have occurred in such a short period of time. Maharaj traveled with and personally served Prabhupada for the final year of Prabhupada's life. After Prabhupada's departure from the world in 1977, Maharaj served in Mayapur for several years while the society was going through a critical phase. In 1987, Bhakti Swami became an initiating guru in ISKCON and joined the society's GBC, serving as its chairman in 1988 and again in 2017. In 1995, Maharaj had translated into Bengali all of Srila Prabhupada's works on major Vedic literatures, consisting of more than 50 volumes. In 1996, Maharaj took on the mammoth task of making a biographical video epic on the life of his spiritual master. This video series was broadcast on national television in India and distributed globally on DVD. In 2004, at the invitation of the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, Bhakti Swami built a magnificent new ISKCON temple in just 10 months in Ujjain, the ancient and holy city known as Avantika, and the place where Krishna and Balaram went to school. The extraordinary marble temple features 3 large altars for the worship of Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan, Sri Sri Krishna Balaram, and Sri Sri Gaur Nitai, a goshala for cow protection, a midday meals facility for school children, a rural program to spread Vedic culture from village to village, and several outreach centers in Bhopal and Indore. Bhakti Swami also served as the ISKCON governor for France and South Africa at a time when these zones were facing immense difficulties. He was able to turn the situations in these locations around. In 2007, Maharaj began an altar production facility in Ujjain. That's where we got our altar for Salt Lake City, by the way. The facility manufactures beautiful deity altars of all shapes and sizes for temples and devotees globally. In 1933, he began development of a new ISKCON temple in Panihati, a very holy place in the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, where Raghava Pandit had his home and Lord Nityananda held his chip rice festival. In 2014, Maharaj established Aroga Nikitan, a traditional and authentic Ayurvedic clinic in Ujjain. He joined Arta Forum and began delivering keynote speeches globally on spirituality to large audiences and business leaders. There's more. There's a lot more, actually. But I think you get the idea. He's a great and humble and gentle warrior in Srila Prabhupada's service. Has any of that triggered any individual thoughts or reminiscences?
When I was visiting Mayapur, I saw his association, his lectures, sweet bhajans, and since the 1990s, I was listening his Kirtanas, sweet bhajanas. And his lectures always humble and sweet, and generally when devotees ask questions, senior devotees, he says, actually, you're just asking questions for the benefit of others. And he always respected everyone. And I also heard that Gopal Swami yesterday, he was glorifying him the whole hour, like how he dedicated his life. And he never diverged. And then I heard Kirtan Maharaj yesterday, he was telling how he was affectionate to him. If there are any disagreements among the leaders, the Bhakti Charu Maharaj immediately would go, and he was like peacemaker. Like everybody has his opinion, let's cooperate. So that's he was telling his, and he was also telling Bhakti Charu Maharaj was translating from Bengali, and Kirtan Maharaj was translating from Sanskrit. When there were some philosophy issues in ISKCON, to bring those things, to show the devotees. In 1999, 1998, there were so many attacks from different groups, like in ISKCON, no advanced guru, something like that. So he was writing so many articles, translating from Bhaktivinoda Thakur and other acharyas that we have, and especially from Prabhupada, explaining that we have all the founds that devotees should not run here and there. In the temple, we have everything. You just all you need to study nicely Prabhupada and follow. So that was so sweet. Unfortunately, we lost his association. Yeah. And also, I wanted to add, according to this devotees that Charu Prabhu listed in this temple that caring. So whenever we travel, we always shortly we say like devotees generally glorify and the devotees know the Chaupati temple Raghanath Maharaj. That is an example, a wonderful temple. How devotees care each other. So just to say shortly, when we travel, like when we Hawaii and so many temples. So how's your movement there? And then we say, oh, it's like a mini Chaupati. Like that. So devotees say, oh, we want to come and see.
We want to see that.
So that's wonderful. So thank you for all these devotees that And when we travel, we really miss the devotees. It's a special devotees here. Devotees all good. So that's another good thing. So also like Onkar Prabhu. He's so young and he's so caring. When we first met and he asked what service you do, I said, I'm translating. And he was asking how you translate, how is it? It was so interesting. It gave me soul nourishment. And I came home, I translated more for the hour because somebody is interested. Because I myself sometimes forgetting about my service. And also, Bhakti Sharma Maharaj also was translating books, so that was example. Of course, his level and my level like different, like day and night, but still, it was encouraging. Like it's a service that I should continue, even if it's forgotten. Right. So thank you for all of you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Hari Bol.
May I chime in one moment? Just
Sure.
what is occurring to me. We're living in a world now where we're all in desperate need of people who are setting a good example of the kinds of people that we want to be. Our young people need that especially. We need it as well. And when you survey the landscape out in the world, you just don't see it. You just don't see it at all, fortunately. And yet in ISKCON, I think this call has illustrated how you really see nothing but. You see nothing who are kinder, more gentle, more devoted, more generous, certainly in my case, than I am. It's an endless of inspiration. And I learn every time I have association with anyone in our temple, everyone on this call, certainly, I learn something new. I get inspired how I could be a better person. So we're so totally in the right place. And just reflecting on Bhakti Charu Swami, who I had only heard of prior to the time we all learned that he was ill with COVID. And it kind of proves the point. There's so many great examples of wonderful, spiritually advanced people that are teaching by their example how to live. In ISKCON, examples, you can't even find them all. There are so many. It's the exact opposite of what you find in the rest of the world. You can't find anywhere. There are so many people out there. And in ISKCON, he's just another wonderful, advanced, pure, devoted soul who we could spend the rest of our life just reflecting on his life. There would be no end to the inspiration that we could receive just in blessed life. So my gratitude to all of you. This is this little phone here is my lifeline during the pandemic. While I don't have your personal association. Krishna.
And I just want to follow up on what George just said. It's exactly what what we read for this week. Canto 1, Chapter 1, 10, and it talks about how people are going to be in Kali Yuga. And I think we see it, if you're in the business world at all, like some of us are, you see it every day. And then you come to the temple and it's like a breath of fresh air. Like, it's so wonderful to be here. Thank you.
We're not always successful, but our standard is each and every one of us be peacemakers, and that's what Bhakti Shri Maharaj, and that's why we celebrate him, because we all want to be peacemakers. We don't want to be divisive. We don't want to be confrontational. We don't want to be vindictive. We want to be peacemakers. We want to be right, but even when we're not right, we want to recognize that it's more important to keep the peace than it is to be right. Mm-hmm. And so that spirit of gentleness and respect and love was personified by Bhakti Charu Maharaj. Amrita, do you want to share Indra Maharaj's tribute, and then Onkar, can you throw up a picture of Bhakti True Maharaj while Amrita Sundari reads this? Is that possible?
Yes,
And then if I can't, then after that, I'm going to try to throw up the lyrics to Jai Anila Premadhana for the final kirtan.
Dear disciples of Bhakti Charu Maharaj, please accept my most humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. On this auspicious day of Guru Purnima, I want to express my condolences to all of you on the departure of your beloved spiritual master, Bhakti Charu Maharaj. I had planned to write an offering to him today, but I feel a letter to console all of you in your grief would be of greater service to him. My heart goes out to all of you wherever you are in the world. The outpouring of love and appreciation for your spiritual master, currently flooding the worldwide ISKCON community, shows the immensity of his influence and personality. He touched the hearts of countless devotees, even those he never met. Quoting from Srila Rupa Goswami's Vidagdha Madhava, the transcendental attractive qualities of an exalted devotee popularize his presence everywhere, even though he may be hidden from public view, just as musk spreads its fragrance everywhere, even when locked away in a tight container. As your Guru Maharaj was a close friend of mine for many years, I am crying alongside you. Although we know intellectually from our philosophy that the soul is eternal and never dies, we cannot deny the sadness we feel when a devotee departs. Srila Prabhupada refers to the devotee's soft-heartedness in a purport in Bhagavad Gita. While observing the situation of his enemy, Arjuna stood up on the chariot, but he was so afflicted with lamentation that he sat down again, setting aside his bow and arrows. Such a kind and soft-hearted person in the devotional service of the Lord is fit to receive self-knowledge. Bhagavad Gita 1.46. These next days and weeks will be a time of grieving for you. Please know that I and our entire movement grieves with you. It must be so. To everything there is a season and a time, to every purpose under the heaven, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. In a Vyas Puja offering, Bhakti Charu Maharaj wrote in 1961, our beloved Srila Prabhupada personally expresses the same anguish we are all now feeling in reference to the departure of his spiritual master. On this day, O my master, I made a cry of grief. I was not able to tolerate the absence of my Guru. I and all my dear God brothers and God sisters have also experienced this in the loss of our own spiritual master. To this day, I have not recovered from Srila Prabhupada's departure. I live in a constant state of separation from my beloved master, as well as from our God brothers and God sisters who have since departed. Quote by George Eliot, "Only in the agony of parting do we look into the depths of love." The question many of you are pondering now is how you will continue on without the physical presence of the dearest person in your life. The answer is that you will continue on by remembering all the many valuable lessons you learned from him, both through all he did and all that he said. The most important thing to remember is that there is never any question of separation from your spiritual master. The transcendental medium, he will always be with you. This is confirmed in 1929 edition of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's Harmonious magazine, where we find the famous stanza Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote after visiting the Samadhi of Srila Haridas Thakur in Jagannath Puri. He reasons ill who tells Vaishnavas die, when thou art living still and sound. The Vaishnavas die to live, and living try to spread a holy life around. Srila Prabhupada personally expressed the same sentiment in a letter he wrote to me in 1971. My dear Bhakta Brian, I can understand your feelings of separation from me after I left the Detroit temple. I'm also feeling separation from my Guru Maharaj, although I feel he's always watching over and protecting me. You can also find solace in knowing that although Bhakti Charu Maharaj has left us, he is Srila Prabhupada's eternal servant and is either on another preaching adventure with Srila Prabhupada or by his grace engaged in eternal life in the transcendental realm. Srila Prabhupada himself confirms that for the devotee, both living and dying are the same. Prabhupada, we have no such difference, disappearance and appearance. Giriraj, except in your case, we don't want disappearance. Prabhupada, Jiva va Varoma, because we are going to accept eternity, so appearance and disappearance of this body is not a very important thing. Nitya Leela, eternal life, that is our Krishna consciousness, room conversation and Vrindavan. You can be very proud of your spiritual master. He spent a lifetime in service to Srila Prabhupada and Krishna. He captured their hearts and they have taken him from this world of death and birth to be with them. Quote from Madhurya Kadambini by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, where Lord glorifies his devotee. O best of my devotees, for so many lifetimes, you have abandoned your wife and home to attain me. For the sake of my service, you endured untold miseries such as cold, wind, hunger, thirst, and pain. Maintaining your life by begging, you tolerated countless abuses and insults from others. Unable to repay you, I have become indebted to you. For you, lordship over the entire earth, sovereignty of the heavenly planets, the position of Lord Brahma, and all the various mystic perfections are completely unsuitable. How could I grant them to you? These things are grass and straw, which animals find enjoyable, but they're not fit for humans. Though I am unconquerable, today I have certainly been conquered by you. Now I am taking shelter of the creeper of your excellent character and gentle conduct. Once again, my heart goes out to all of you. If I can be of any service to any one of you, please don't hesitate to contact me. Your servant in service to your spiritual master, Indradumna Swami.
Thank you, Amrita Sundari, and thank you, Indradumna Maharaj, wherever you are. I'm going to try and put Jaya Needle Premadhana in the translation. This is my first attempt at screen sharing. I don't know if it'll be successful or not. Let me know. Is it there?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yep.
Okay. Is the rest of the desktop there too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know how to get rid of all that ugliness. I'll put full screen.
Yeah. If you do full screen, it will disappear. Prabhu.
Okay. All right. Okay. Here are the words in the translation. So this is, I don't know about you, but this has been just incredibly sweet for me on every level. I'm telling you.
And Bhakti Caru Maharaj sang it wonderfully so many times.
Yeah.
It was one of his best bhajans.
Yeah. So Amrita Sundari, please sing it, and then we'll end with Kirtan.
Anila Premadhana Karuna Pracho
Anila Premadhana Karuna Pracho
Dino Prabhu Kotha Dena Acharya Thakur
Sena Prabhu Kotha Dela Acharya Thakur
Kaha Mora Swarupa Rupa Mahasanata
Kaha Mora Swarupa Kaha Sanata
Mahadasa Raghunatha Patita Pavan
Kaha dasa Raghunatha Patita Pavan
Amora Bhata Joga Kaha Kavira
Kaha Mora Bhata Juga Kaha Kavira
Ekadakane Kodagela Goranatara
Ashane Kuti Brahma Anale Pashibo
Pathane Sibota
Anale Pasiva
Gorangera Gune Nidhi Kotha Gele Pavo
Gauranga Gunera Nidhi Kodare
Sabha Sangira Sangi Je koi lobila
Sange
Jai Bila
Te Sangana Aya Kande Naro Kamada
Say Sangayo
Jivanilo Primadhana Karuna Kachu
Karena Prachu
Nino Prabhu Kotha Gela Acharya Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur
Jaya Vaishnava Thakur Jaya Vaishnava Thakur Jaya Vaishnava
Jaya Bhakti Charu Swami Jaya Bhakti Charu Swami Bhakti Charu Swami Jaya Bhakti Charu Swami
Jaya Bhakti Charu Swami Jaya Bhakti Charu Swami Jaya Charu Swami Jaya Bhakti Charu Swami
Govind ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Haribol.
Prabhu, Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Before we
George Prabhu inspired me. 1.5 months ago, he scared me. Said he made curry, paneer curry. I said, okay, I'm far behind. Because there's a deal in between George Prabhu and I. So in future, we're going to swap places.
very good.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Very melodious, Prabhuji. Your voice is really good.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you. Prabhuji, I want to share something. About 10 days back, I I had a dream about His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. He came here, like he actually, the whole vision was, there was a few Matajis and we were served, Maharaj was lying down and he said, the hospital, the prasadam was not so good. So just, clean, just make something simple like khichdi or the curry, and just simple, because I have to go far. And you won't believe, this whole dream went on for a long time. Early in the morning, it was about 10-12 days back. He was lying, I can describe the bed he was lying, the way Maharaj was talking, and we were just running around. There were few of us Matajis, and we were just serving Maharaj and giving it to Prabhuji. And he said, this is all I wanted, was some simple prasad, because I didn't last year Sai Mataji and myself had the good fortune of meeting Maharaj in Noida temple. And Maharaj, with one glance at Mataji, he made us so comfortable, because he could see Sai Mataji was from a different country and out there. And when he sang the Gopi Geet, the entire temple was packed with devotees, and it was pin drop silence when Maharaj it was a GBC meeting, and there were so many Maharajas there, and Maharaj just lifted us and gave us the glimpse of spiritual world. And the next day he sang the Damodarashtakam. Usually in India, everybody's rushed to do the diya, but that day, nobody even touched the diya. And everybody listened to his Damodarashtakam. I mean, I can't believe it was out of this world. And me and Sai Mataji held our hands and clutched and say, he is gifted. We knew that Srila Prabhupada left him with so much love for all of us. And Maharaj had just come back that day, and he was jet lagged, and he was singing that very night. He had arrived from Florida that night. It was
he said that he wanted you to make him prasadam because he had a long journey ahead of him.
He had a long journey and he was going somewhere. This was a transit in Salt Lake City, I felt.
2 years back, we had a fortune again after Mayapur Amrita mentioned. 2 years back, we went to Ali Yatra and he was there. So we met him. And I personally have this tendency, whenever I realize that there is some Maharaj somewhere, even if I don't know, I will just go and have Maharaj darshan, and I will just find a way to just meet Maharaj, have darshan. So I went, and in fact, I invited him to come to Salt Lake City. So, Maharaj, please come to Salt Lake City. And he said, oh, okay, I will see, I will check. And yeah, that was it.
And Raghava shared that with me, that we are going to call Maharaj. Maybe it was in my consciousness that I was not able to serve Maharaj. It was my deep desire to serve Maharaj.
Well, it sounds sorry, Priya.
All right. Thank you so much. I look forward to these get-togethers tremendously every Sunday. It's just so sweet, so nectarine to get to know all of you and to have us all making forward progress in devotional service together as one body, as one unit, as one family. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for joining. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Panchakalpatarubhyascha.
Kripa Sindhu Bhavcha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namo.